You see, for my previous video, when I talk about this issue for this Ibom airline where they assault that girl, rather drag and come out inside flight because she no switch over phone as instructed by the carbon crew. For my last video, I talk am say this story never clear at all. Yes, because if you watch the story, they just post where that lady they shout, she's hitting me, she's hitting me, you know. I mean, they just make on the headline so that everybody go criticize that girl. But if everybody relax, think, I mean, reason one or two, you go understand. Say before that girl escalate like that, something don't happen back there. Where they say you and I don't know. You understand? So this thing, they need to investigate this thing. Now, waiting I talk for my last video. And thank God, when I dey watch Arise News, now the same thing when we say Rofiu Osani point out. Yes, in talk and say the way it be now, nobody actually know wetin happen for this issue now. Yes, because like I said, in every reaction there was an action, and in every action there is a reaction. So there is, you no fit just sit down like this begin dey fight people wey dem no offend you. No matter how calm you be, you get how person go push you reach, you go react. That one na for sure. Na human being be that for you. So this issue now, as in, I go say, man, normally I dey respect Rofiu Osani because he na somebody wey be say he no dey see through dey hide. In dey talk and the way e be, no sentiment, no matter the circumstances. In dey always talk through. Most time when I dey watch am for most of how in dey interview people is some issues arise. The way into dey interview, some kind key questions when in dey bring some kind questions, as in e make say that man na person wey dey stand for true. In dey talk and the way e be, and that is one of the reasons wey dey say most people no dey like wan come interview. As in, if e be say na Rofiu na go interview them, they no dey wan come because a lot of people as me and you know for this countryside now, once you dey speak truth, dem dey run from am. You understand? So this issue na issue wey they need to investigate, and thank God now Rofiu Osani don still talk the same thing. So just watch the video.
Abati, thank you for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Okay, well, I've already given a long narrative of all the issues. But two basic questions. The statement by the NBA and how the rights of Miss Emma Emerson have been violated, a right to privacy and a right to the dignity of the human person, and so on and so forth. Now, NBA has offered pro bono services. Is the NBA going to follow up? That's one. And two, the statement by the minister, Festus Keyamo, SAN. Does the minister have the powers to give all those directives that he has given? Who is really behind that authorization, including to the police and other players within that saga, Quam 1, Quam 2 saga? Is the minister grandstanding or is acting within the scope of his powers?
Okay, thank you so very much once again for having me on the show. So I'll start with your first question. Will the NBA follow through with its promise? I mean, the president made it clear in our statement issued yesterday, immediately the event happened, that the NBA is on standby, ready to provide free services to Ms. Comfort should she require it. That is the one angle to it. Now, the second angle to it is the president also stated clearly that the NBA is ready to also proceed to court and watch brief should she not require the pro bono services of the NBA. Because this issue is a public interest issue, and this issue offends the rule of law, some part of it, that is. And that's why we gave two open blank checks. First, if you want our services, we'll offer them for you for free. Because the NBA has a pro bono department. The NBA also has a section on public interest litigation. The NBA also has a committee on citizens' rights and liberty. Now, all of these structures are not put on ground for nothing. They are put on ground for situations such as this. So should she require the services, we're good to go, we're on standby. The matter has been withdrawn from court. Well, there's a directive that the matter should be withdrawn from court. So the issue of watching brief may not now arise until maybe another charge is taken to court. So that's the one part of it. Now the second part of it, did the minister act within the scope of his duty? Now you see, we must be honest with ourselves about this thing. The Nigerian police force does not take instruction from the Honorable Minister for Aviation. That much is that's a fact. However, in the exercise of the minister's duty, there can be some mediation here and there, and a common ground can be reached. Did he act within the scope of his authority to issue a directive? I don't believe that he did. Can they withdraw a petition or whatever was said to the police or sent to the police? Yes, it is within their right to say, look, we no longer want to pursue this matter. Of course, offenses are actually committed against the state. You know, so if the state says, no, we do not want to pursue this anymore, well, they're well within their right to do that.
Okay. Ms. Enyada, thank you for that. Now, of course, there's so many different reactions coming from this latest development, as we had already seen several reactions coming from Kwam 1, and for, you know, just for the ease of conversation, we'll say Kwam 2, Ms. Emanson.
All right.
My question to you is very simple. In these two scenarios, which are, I would say they rhyme, they are similar, but they have their unique elements. What does justice look like from your perspective in each of these scenarios?
Okay, so in each of this scenario, we've made it very clear. We're here to, you know, further buttress that point that, look, it appears like there has been two shades of justice. One for ease of conversation, Kwam 1, Mr. Rofiu, and the other for Kwam 2, Ms. Comfort. Whereas Kwam 1 got off with a smack on his wrist, initially it was more like, okay, 6 months ban from flights and all of that, pending investigation. For Kwam 2, we didn't hear any statement like that. It was straight life ban. I mean, the punishment clearly did not fit the crime under the circumstance. Sincerely, it didn't fit the crime under the circumstance. Now, let's talk about Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution that provides for the dignity of human person, the protection of the dignity of human person. Whereas in Kwam 1, we didn't see him subjected to the kind of forceful removal that Kwam 2 was subjected to. Look, let's take this thing more, bring this issue more graphically alive. Mr. Rofiu did not only pose a threat to the aircraft, but to passengers aboard the aircraft. Comfort, on the other hand, was the only passenger on the aircraft. She allowed other people to alight and all of that. So if you put them on an imaginary scale of equity, it appears as though there are two laws were applied here. One to favor Kwam 1, and the other, which was not reasonably applied in favor of Kwam 2. And so her dignity of human person was violated. I mean, that video could have been, the parts of the video where she was stripped of her human dignity could have been blurred. It could have been taken down. They could have just they could have edited it and not release it for public view. It's quite undignifying. It is flat out an infringement on her dignity, on her right to privacy and dignity of human person. It is a right. It's not a privilege, by the way. These rights are enshrined in the Constitution. And it's our position that these rights were eroded the moment that these videos were brought online without any censorship, without any editing and all of that.
Okay. The question is, With this message by the minister,
Yes, please.
because only yesterday, NCAC was saying, bring evidence for investigation. Is it that evidence for investigation is not needed after the minister says, go and sin no more? How then are we going to learn and we're going to know what truly transpired in this event? Because till date, we don't know what transpired. Action and reaction are equal or opposite. I think that's part of the Newton's laws of motion. A lot of people have argued, what triggered the woman to react that way? Who pulled off her wig before she was pulled out? Because you see, in cases like this, we are just only quick to see the one video that the accuser has a part to take of, oh, she's slapping me, she's beating me. But what triggered the initial action? Till today, we don't know. Is that not a cause for investigation? And secondly, slapping Kwam 1 on the wrist for act that is clearly an act of terrorism or plain jacking. Because when you look at it, what is plain jacking? Impeding on the plane with the intention of to destabilize the motion of the plane. That was what was done in front of that plane. And nothing was done. The airport authority didn't pick him up. He was left a week after. In fact, he released an apology on Friday. We have started to forget about Kwam 1 until the case of this woman came, and they mishandled that case by slapping a higher penalty, and that's why the public voices revolted. So, for somebody that fights for justice, don't you think we should still need to go to court over this case so we can even know clearly what it is? Because see, you said a bad precedent. If somebody decides to stay in front of a plane tomorrow, we cannot sanction them because there's a precedent already. All we just need to tell them to do is to apologize. Why are we even going to test the laws in the country? Those are some of the points I'm bringing forward. Where are we even going to use this as an opportunity to test the laws of privacy? Where people think because of social media, they can put people's privacy out there. An airline, for that matter. What do you think about all of this, sir?
All right, Mr. Rufai, a spectacular viewpoint you have put there. You're correct on all fours. First of all, your question seems to want to ask whether the NBA would pursue this case. I think I've put this matter to rest when I first spoke, that we are open to offering free services to Ms. Comfort, should she require them. Now, you see, we would not professionally urge people, mandate people, incite people to go to court. The person involved must have to say, oh, look, I feel my rights have been violated and I want to pursue it. That is one angle to it. The other angle to it is, I have said that we have a session on public interest litigation. I believe that as we speak right now, the head of that session is already analyzing and evaluating the situation to come up with the next steps to take. We also have a committee on citizens' rights. And I believe that that committee is also looking at the situation with a view to come up with, necessary actions to be taken. There will have to be synergy. There would have to be, roundtable conversations. The good thing, first of all, Mr. Rufai, is that the charges have been withdrawn. I think it's a partial win for democracy for now. We'll first of all need to have a conversation with Ms. Comfort. Hear her own side of the story. Like you have rightly said, we just have the full footage from Ibom Air. The only footage we have is, less than 2 minutes footage from Ms. Comfort. And she's behind bars. She can't necessarily tell us her own side of the story behind bars just yet. Once she regains her freedom, all of these ambiguities will be cleared out.
Okay.
The areas where we are not sure of what happened and what transpired will all be laid bare. Only at that point will an informed decision be taken. But yes, I agree with you that this should not happen. I mean, just yesterday, another video popped up of a woman, a lady, or now on an international airline, who lit a cigarette while in the aircraft, and then sought to light a T-shirt, to burn the aircraft. I mean, she was not heaved out of the aircraft like we saw done to Miss Comfort. Those on standby came in and smartly. Yes, please.
Mr. Yada,
yes,
I think we all agree about the fact that the cinematographic evidence is not adequate in our view. We all agree about the right to fair hearing that has been violated, the right to privacy, right to dignity of the human person, all violated in the case of Ms. Emerson. But again, I want to go back to the point about the powers of the minister. Now, if you look at the statement by the minister, he was giving directives, not just to the police, also to the NCAA. The NCAA, the Civil Aviation Authority, is supposed to be an independent regulatory body that will act efficiently and impartially, and also stay away from partisan politics. Now, with the minister now giving instructions to the NCAA, restore this, make Kwamwan an ambassador, is even being rewarded for bad behavior, and then reduce his suspension to just 1 month and all of that. Now, is it part of the responsibility of the minister as a political appointee to give directives to the same NCAA as regulator that had said earlier that they were conducting investigations? Would this mean the end of the investigation?
Mr. Abati, it does not mean that this is the end of the investigation. My humble view, that is.
So the minister has taken over the investigation?
Have the right to issue... No. The minister cannot take over the investigation. He doesn't have such powers. He does not have such powers. I believe that we are yet to even see how this instruction is taken out. So I think that we should keep our gunpowder dry and see exactly how these instructions are taken out. For me, it will be putting the horse before the cart to say, oh, he has done this, he has issued the instruction, he has hijacked the investigation, he has taken... No, I'm not holding brief for him. He has given set of instructions. I don't believe that it is within his powers to instruct the Nigerian police as to what to do. It is not within his powers. That much is a fact. It is also not, whereas he has oversight, supervisory powers over the authorities that you have rightly called out now. He doesn't have the power to issue instructions in the manner that he has done.
So
but this is the point I'm trying to make. He has done all of that.
To sue those people, and you see the points maybe say Rofiu Osani bring come out.
Fine. Let's see how the authorities
so this is not the kind of point
go
when I
ahead
want
to
here. And thank God say if when this fact come out now.